aircraft scenario. Finally getting the rounds. Getting the rounds for the desperate, yeah. Hey, Dr. Coconut. It's probably going to be a empty chat-ish, kind of. Maybe people already got their fill of this game, and that's valid. I mean, Neela is probably the best girl. Hey, Kissif. If you're looking for the funnies here, Kissif, they're not, it's not going to be on the same level of, what is it, Dancing Towards Tomorrow. We probably won't be getting the funnies until Wani Gamu. I got like the most weirdest headache going on right now. It's like in the center of the top of my head and like between my eyes. Like, I don't know. I took some ibuprofen. Hopefully it'll dull away. That chat is always dead as fuck. You're fine. Probably takes time for some to come, yeah. It's tall woman time, yeah. We'll try and see if we can reach at least 1 or 2 CGs. I want to put at least 2 hours in. Because I gotta get up tomorrow and do stuff again. Anyways, I've yapped enough. We should probably play the game. Which I forgot to hook up. It'll only take a second. There we go. Now, don't forget this is a movie. This is not real. It's a movie. Disclaimer. All right, we are just going to we're going to book it. Oh wait, we got new dialogue. I could go downstairs directly. I'm on the opposite side of the ship. Look, so we're forced to look around. We got the illusion of choice here. Okay, whatever. Max. All right. So let me. I should have started right there. If I have to play that game again, I'm gonna be angry. Which one did I choose last time? Was it this one? No, it wasn't. Alright. I don't seem to find anything of interest while walking around. After all, it's just cabins. Yeah, not much to look at other than the labyrinth of yellow walls and cabin doors. I probably look lost walking around like this. Maybe I could check out the boiler rooms. Once I reach a door that says boiler room with big letters, I hear a soft voice behind me, almost as a whisper. You know that room is restricted to workers of the ship only, yes? Oh no, this isn't the Victoria route. Alright, I've already been through this. Okay, here we go. Approach her. I make my way up to the bow of the ship, approaching the Red Dragoness. The waves are kind of rough, not going to lie. I lean against the railing close to the bow, but maintain some space between me and the Dragoness. I'd be careful if I were you, madam. She turns her head around to see me. Her fingers are visibly making a lot of force against the railing as she holds it. Why would that be? I'm perfectly fine here. What emotion is that conveying? Is that like shock or anger? I can see her grip the railing harder. Well, you see, it might not look like it, but the water is cold. She gives me a smirk. How cold are we talking about? I slide my hand on the railing as I stand next to her. Cold to the point where I would have to jump into the water to rescue you if you fell in, and I don't want to ruin my good clothes. She pouts, giving me a slightly annoyed face. Oh, there's the anger. Humans never consider these things, do they? She points at her tail with her chin. Now, you're one of the many dragons here without wings, buddy. Now that I consider it, that sounded stupid. Fair enough. I'm just enjoying the breeze. She rests her tail on the ground, leaning back, still firmly gripping the railing. This'll be the one moment I'll always treasure for the rest of my life. She waves her tail slowly. The enjoyment that she was feeling just a second ago faded like a slowly dying star. The rest of my life. What's wrong? But one sudden rogue wave hits the ship, making us both jump as we grip the railing. Now the wave comes in. The wave is a little late there. We both regain our balance in the most awkward silence ever recorded by man, or dragonkind. I don't know what to do with my life once the ship reaches port. Sounds like we're both on the same ship. I mean, not exactly in the same situation as me, but she doesn't know what to do either. I'm sure you'll figure it out later. I'm in the same boat as you. Literally. Wait, no, that's not what I wanted to say. That sounded way cooler in my head. She smirks once. Yeah, you can tell. She's desperate. She smirks once again. Gosh, you sounded like my cousin for a second, silly. There goes the first impression. My name is Eris, by the way. What's your name, skinny human? Skinny? I mean, I'm not exactly thin or skin and bones or anything. The name's Anon. Is that your real name, or... It doesn't matter. I won't ask you about your personal life. Much obliged. There's an awkward silence once again between the two of us. About earlier, once we reach port. Oh boy, choices. But she's real to me. Damn, I almost forgot. This is a movie. Yeah, it kind of sours it, man. The movie thing should have been like the extra should have came after every ending was done, you know? I hope the developer is here to take notes. Alright. Have you thought of opening a business, or what's the best idea you got so far? I feel like we've had this conversation before. We'll just... Because I don't think... Oh, we did take this. Oh, hold on. You know what I didn't do? Hold on. No, none of these are... Oh, none of these are selected. So we have done this before. But seeing as we're doing her route, we'll give it more respect, I guess, as a refresher. But we'll just skip we'll skip what we can and what not and what isn't Eris, okay? I was thinking about opening a restaurant. Or maybe a canteen. I don't know, really. But those are just dreams. I don't actually have money for anything right now. Might as well get a job till I can afford my own business. A restaurant doesn't sound bad. I could even invest on that with the savings I saved up before I left. A restaurant sounds like a good idea. What sort of food would you cook? Me? Nothing, I'm a terrible cook. Then how do you plan to start a restaurant? Eris looks slightly annoyed now. I can hire someone. She looks at me and inspects my body. What? Oh, nothing. I was thinking that a skinny human would be good for the business. You know, diversity quotas and stuff. Thinking of the future. She smirks again. Also, don't you think it smells like bacon here? I sniffed twice. Nothing. No, I can only smell the ocean. I'm pretty sure it smells like bacon. I sniff in the most exaggerated way possible. I still can't smell anything else besides the ocean. She gently taps my arms with one of her fingers. Humans have weak skin, don't they? I finally notice my arm slowly turning as red as a lobster. Crap. I should go under the shade or something. Bye-bye, bacon. Oh no. I walk towards the main stairs of the ship to the lower floors. I hear a soft giggle coming from Eris as I walk away. Zip-zoom. We don't care about Max. We don't care about Neela. No, we're going alone. Oh wait, it's Eris. It's Eris. Oh, I remember this scene, so I can catch you up with this scene. I think this is where he gets the meatball and he can't eat it. But Eris can eat it because she has dragon teeth, which something Anon doesn't have. But we'll read it anyway. Once I enter the saloon, I notice Eris sitting at the end of the table. I wave my hand at her. I wave my hand at her stand and walk towards her. Is this seat occupied? That last sentence gave me aneurysm. Perhaps. You could sit on it, though. Don't be shy. I won't bite. Haru Maito blown the fuck out. For a minute, I thought she was going to jump in, so he'd have to save her. As much as it is a movie, hope she is not a crazy one, as she's that desperate. Oh boy. I'm sure they're going to get cameos in the next iteration, because I hear someone else is getting a route entirely in the new game. It's going to be like strictly that route, I'm assuming. Aren't you charming? My best trait. I notice that Eris is playing with her food, an appetizing-looking meatball and mashed potatoes. And when I sit, my spine starts sending me threat warnings. Before I realize it, the chef is standing next to me. Giovanni, is your friend feeling any better? My self-preservation instincts calm down once the chef speaks up. The memory of those oranges being squeezed is still roaming around my head. Not really. I invited him to come join me for dinner, but he decided to stay in the cabin. Oh, is this... We still think Max is a dude at this point, I guess. We will make sure not to forget his portion of the dinner. Anyway, what do you want for dinner? We have mashed potatoes with stuff or without stuff. I don't understand why, but Eris is trying to give me some sort of signal with her gaze. She keeps looking at her plate and then up to me as she plays with the meatball using the fork. It's probably nothing. With stuff. The chef leaves with a smile on his face. He's going to play a prank on us. You're going to regret it. What does that even mean? The chef comes back from the small kitchen next to the saloon with a plate of food for me. And then leaves without saying anything. Anyway. Yeah. Huh? My fork keeps bouncing off of the meatball. It's not even able to pierce the exterior layer of the meatball. Tried to warn you. What the actual... My self-preservation instincts kick in once more. I turn my head to see the chef looking at me from the kitchen. His gaze was like being aimed at by one of the Draconian Kingdom sharpshooters. Any false move and it would be my doom. I slowly moved the fork towards the mashed potatoes instead. I forget, did they ever say what the meatballs are made out of specifically? Somehow I averted my death. My self-preservation instincts tell me that I'm no longer under threat. It's a meatball for dragons. I guess that the chef didn't consider you since, well, there's only 2 humans in the ship. Really? Only 2 humans? Yep, I was wandering around the ship the whole day. Only you and the chef. No one else is human. Can this thing even be eaten? Eris looks into my eyes, smirks, and then grabs the meatball with her hand. Before I realize it, the meatball disappears in one sudden chomp. Yummy. I frown as she easily bites the meatball. It can't be that tough. I'm going to try and pierce it with my fork again. One of the tines of the fork bends with my last attempt. Giving up already? I frown harder, looking at the meatball. A vein in my forehead is now visible. You're not going to defeat me here. With a face full of determination, I grab the meatball with my fingers and bite. I can feel a rebellion happening inside my brain. My neurons don't know what to do. They were not trained to bite something like this. My jaw can't apply any more force without risking breaking one of my teeth. I leave the meatball back on my plate. I accept my defeat. Eris grabs the meatball from my plate and eats it in one solid chomp. Does that count as an indirect kiss? Delicious! She smiles as she easily swallows the meatball. Not going to lie. Oh no, it's Un! I'm getting Un flashbacks! Oh my god, I'm getting PTSD. Am I playing Dancing Towards Tomorrow? Oh, someone throw me a floaty. I'm sinking. I'm drowning. Hi, Mandy. Oh yes, the indirect meatball kiss you scene I remember. She's gonna start talking like Muscle Man. I don't know. You know what? 2 more strikes. If he keeps saying like weird comments like this, I'm giving her the Muscle Man voice. By the way, Anon, I have to ask you something. Sure, ask away. Your cabin mate is the one with the flap cap, right? Oh, this is where we learn Max is a chick. Yeah, why? Don't you feel uncomfortable sharing a room with a girl? Nah, I'm fine with a girl. Yeah, I would feel a bit uncomfortable sharing my cabin with the opposite sex. Unless it's you, Anon. My brain is still trying to process her words. All my neurons agree on a temporary truce as Eris mentions the word girl. I'm pretty sure Max is a guy. Eris opens her eyes as wide as she can. Of course not. Males of her dragon species have a horn on the nose. One second, yeah. Would you excuse me? I need to attend some matters. I quickly run back to the cabins with my plate in hand and what's left of my food. Oh, this is where we barge in on Max. I rush straight back into the cabin. Okay, we went through this. I shouldn't ask. Oh, wait, here we go. More dialogue. I quietly climb up to my bunk on top, carefully trying not to drop my food on the way up. The silence in the cabin becomes insufferable as I attempt to bite on the meatball made from tungsten. Ugh. Tongue-tied. How do you even accomplish to cook this? I break the silence between the two of us as we, well, still trying to bite into this meatball. The mashed potatoes are good, though. Are we going to address the elephant in the room? Look, I don't want to make this any more awkward than it already is. Is it? No, it's still new dialogue. Fair enough. I've been hiding my true nature for so long, it's become sort of a second nature. I started cross-dressing so that I could find jobs easier. Find jobs? You would be surprised how difficult it is to find a stable job as a girl. People always think we're fragile and not suitable for some stuff. I see. I finish eating my mashed potatoes while Max tells me her story. Is that all? Yeah. Honestly, you should have told me. I was curious earlier since I saw your underwear in your luggage when we got here. You were snooping? Ah! Even though I can't see Max since she's below me, I can definitely guess at that she is blushing. Well, in any case, I hope you understand now that I need some privacy. Totally agree. We should always lock the door just in case from now on. I will take that into consideration. One thing is still bugging me, and I think we should talk about it. At least she was open enough to talk to me about why she dresses like a guy. Also, my name is not Anon, it's actually John Doe. I already knew it wasn't your real name. Seriously, what kind of awful parents would name their kid like that? I hope she can't see through the bunk or through me since I'm frowning with all the muscles of my face right now. What's wrong with it? What does the A stand for? Man, I really should have thought on a better name. Too late now. Good point. I feel like we went through this dialogue before. Also, since we're being honest, my name's not Max, it's Maxine. Okay, that I don't remember. But people have always called me Max. Cute name. Is this a bonding session with Max? Should I backtrack? Also, answering your question from earlier. What question? The one where you asked me if you were pretty. My bunk gets kicked from below, almost making me fall from it. I feel like this is I'm retracting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This feels like what's going on? Okay, yeah. Stay quiet. Oh, we're back with Eris again. Okay. Let's check chat real quick. The scene needed to be deleted on the remake. Needs to be noted. Oh crap, I missed the scene. I'm making lunch. You did, but remember that you had to... Wait. You did, but remember that you had to eat the rebuild after the Rempy fuck-up. Yeah. You know what? This scene needs more frickin' Red Hot Dragon women. The moment I'm out of the saloon, I see Eris leaning against the railing, capital R railing, in front of the capital D door. She looks at me and gives me a casual smile. Morning, cutie pie. Cutie pie? That's a new one. No apostrophe on the S. Can I ask you something? Sure thing. How long are we going to be around the coast for? Going to go around. Eris looks at the landscape in front of her. We are currently following the coastline before we do the big jump across the Atlantic. I think shouldn't the Atlantic be capitalized? It will depend on how fast we get to the crossing point. What's that? I lean against the railing next to her as I look at the landscape. We can't go directly to the continent. I mean, we can, but it would be a waste of resources. Since the planet is not flat, we have to reach to a certain point before we cross for a better access. Eris just looks at me with the smile she had before. She didn't understand a single word I just said. You could have just said a couple of hours. Fair enough. Well, anyway, I'll be in the wheelhouse just around the corner. See you later, Eris. She waves her hands as I walk to the wheelhouse. Zip zoom. Is this... Oh, I gotta draw the map. Can I just... If I quit, does it affect anything? Because I don't want to bleed for this game anymore. Not the mini game. Eris's route was the last one to be written, so most of her route wasn't reviewed by an editor since we didn't have one at this point. Alright. You decided to give up planning the route. I seriously don't want to tell her, but I already finished. Maybe pretend that I'm working. Alright, wait for her to come back. That new dialogue, so I'll read it. The door finally opens, and Neela enters the wheelhouse once again. She fixes her clothes and stands next to the steering wheel once again. The silence in the room is almost unbearable. Excuse me for losing my temper. Noted. Once again, there is an awkward silence filling the room. Sorry for yelling at you, too. I just didn't think you would do that sort of work so easily. It's not that hard, actually. Neela looks at me, pouting. I shouldn't have said that. My uncle never bothered teaching me how to draw those. In his eyes, I'm still just a kid. The only one who considers me a competent adult around here is my Uncle Chef. My brain just imploded. Did she just say Uncle Chef? Oh, I get it. She calls the chef Uncle Chef to differentiate between uncles, right? The chef is your uncle? Well, not really, but he's always been there for me, so I grew up calling him Uncle Chef. Why not just call him Uncle, then? Because I like to call him by his name from time to time. Also, I have two uncles here, so if they are together, it's hard to know which one I'm talking to. My brain imploded once again. I feel like we had this chat before. It's not healthy for the brain to implode this many times. Wait, so the chef... Name of the chef is actually Chef? Why? Yeah, I can't deal with this right now. Just asking. By the way, I can teach you. Neela's eyes open as wide as 2 tennis balls. I beg your pardon. You know, making charts, drawing courses, etc. Neela smiles for the first time since I met her. I feel like we've had this conversation. I would like that. Neela stands next to me, resting her hand on my shoulder. Well, for starters, I need to know how much you've learned so far. Neela explains to me all she knows, including the part she guessed by copying the captain. 3 weeks later. Oh, we made it! Before we realize it's already noon. In the end, she was really experienced, but she didn't know. After teaching her how to draw courses, she quickly understood when and why you should draw turns on the chart. Her face is now visibly blissful. I stretch my back and arms since I've been sitting for hours now. We should go grab some lunch. I can't leave the wheelhouse for another couple of hours. Someone has to pilot this ship. Understandable. But if you want, I can get your portion of food here. The saloon is literally next to us. I would appreciate that. Be right back, then. I feel like we've had this discussion. Okay, now we have. Oh no, CG with Neela, we failed. Alright, shit. So, no, we're not spending time with Neela. Go rest would be bad. Go check if there's laundry in the washing station, or roam around the ship. Well, we can always come back, right? I guess I could take my time to look around the ship. I've been wanting to explore the ship for a while. Go ahead, you are part of the crew now. Part of the crew. I like the sound of that. See you later, Neela. She just smiles at me while we leave the wheelhouse. Wait, hold on. As I leave the wheelhouse. Oh, I'm reading words that aren't there. Many such cases. I've been roaming around for quite a while by now. I went to the boiler's room. There was not much to see. So this is the cargo floor. To think that the entire lower floors are dedicated to cargo. Oh, this is a max route. No! Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Even if I wanted to stay, I have to clean my clothes somehow. Sucks to have the only one spare of clothes. Sorry, I need to check for a way of doing some laundry. Mila opens her eyes as wide as tennis balls once again. It's the second time she does the same today. If you do some laundry around here, sign me in. I'll pay you to do mine. I beg your pardon? Do you know how hard it is to not waste water inside a ship? If you're going to wash your clothes, might as well use it as an opportunity. Oh boy, the gifts have been shipped from that one stream. I'll have to redeem it. I'll see what I can do. See you around. Come join me later. I might need a reprieve after standing here so long. I leave the wheelhouse, waving my hand to Neela. We're gonna bump into Eris. The breeze feels nice today. The sound of the paddlers splashing against the water make me wonder if a fish gets caught there, does it become... My thoughts get interrupted as a familiar voice reaches my right ear. Oh no, not Victoria. None of these have Eris. Young man, you look renewed today. I look around to see Lady Victoria. I kind of overslept last night, so I have a little bit more of energy than yesterday. So let me guess, is resting just going to be... Because I'm not trying to fill points with Victoria, so we're just gonna go rest. Fuck it. Maybe we'll run into Eris in our dreams, huh? Let's go rest. Reading the words that are not there. Welcome to my world. This is Victoria's route, by the way. Accidental dragon milf route. Can't complain. I could rest a while at the common areas of the cabin. I thought he was gonna go rest as in, like, go to bed. I mean, going to rest and, like, taking a break is, like, two different things, man. I think I'll rest for a while. Fine by me, although you could drop by later. I get tired of standing here all day. Sure thing. Without wasting any more of her time, I leave the wheelhouse. There we go. Once I get downstairs, I see Eris sitting on one of the couches of the common area reading a book. Oh, you read too, huh? Let me guess, you're going to want me to read you a book too. She notices me as well, lowering her book. Hey, Sugar Cube. I bet she will always say something different every time she sees me. One day you will run out of names to call me. Not happening, sweetheart. The music is so quiet. I think it's already cranked, isn't it? Yeah, it's already cranked. I sit on the spot adjacent to her. My muscles give up on the incredibly comfortable couch. One would think that this couch would have had better days, considering this is a ship for passengers. It probably was even more comfortable back in its prime. Eris goes back to her book while I completely deflate next to her. Now you look like a lazy sea lion. How can you be so charming? She just smirks at my question, lowering her book once more. The best part of life is making someone else smile. I don't think I'm smiling. So tell me, why do you look so tired? Because Neela is being a fucking bossy bitch right now? Because I'm tired. I've been working all morning. Alright, you got a job. How was your first day? It was alright. Not much to tell, to be honest, although I have to say, that chair at the wheelhouse is painful to sit on compared to this couch. Every wave made my back stiffer. That is true. I've been reading my book since our encounter outside of the saloon. Want to know what I'm reading? The book in her hands doesn't give me any particular clue, besides the red leather cover. Sure. It's... Oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's an erotic comedy. What is even an... Oh, I get it. An erotic comedy would be D Dinosaur, wouldn't it? Okay, I knew those existed, but it's weird to hear about them anyway. A comedy? An erotic comedy. So what is it about? She hunches over with her elbows resting on her thighs while she interlocks her fingers, covering her snout. I've heard of this pose before. Dragons from the east use it quite often, especially when they are disappointed with their sons. How do I even begin? Oh no. Oh, was there supposed to be like a CG there or some shit? I have to double check to make sure my filters are filtering. That's off, okay. After an hour or so of explanation, I managed to understand a bit of the plot. Apparently there's the stupid rich girl... Oh no, a stupid rich girl, you say? On a ship who fell in love with a guy from the suburbs. Although the only erotic part was when they made love in a carriage inside the cargo hold of the ship. Oh no, is this foreshadowing? There was not much there to talk about it. What really pissed me off is that the girl could have given the guy some space on that stupid floating door. A door is not small by any means. Could have kept them both afloat. Oh, is this Titanic? Ha ha ha, Titanic. My poor guy died in vain. And that's about it. That's it? That's right. To be honest, I don't see the erotic part of the book. Oh, trust me, that one scene was no less than 20 pages. The author really did an amazing job describing what was happening in the carriage. It gives you a lot to imagine what is happening inside, but from an outside view, you would only see her hand against the window. Fair enough. I have one question. Ask away. Why'd she throw the diamond to the sea? I don't know. It makes no sense. Eris looks to the side, trying to avoid the question. She probably had a reason. Now I'm actually pissed. Anyway, not a bad book, but I have my comments. Keep your comments. I'm the one enjoying the book. Eris closes the book and smirks. Although I would like to, you know, recreate the carriage part. Uh-oh. By any chance, do you know the meaning of the word subtle? Nope. At this point, my back has already become one with the couch. No matter how much I try, I don't have the energy to stand up. Oh no. She really was desperate. I need to go to the toilet. Maybe I... Uh-oh. Maybe I don't. I only have one pair of pants. Uh-oh. His spaghetti. His spaghetti. All right. I have to check if there is a laundry. But what? Hold on. But lazy. Eris. Do you know if there is a laundry somewhere? Nope, there is none. You'll have to clean your clothes at the toilets. You mean with the water of the toilets? Eris's mocking face turns into a disgusted one with my question. With the sink! Alright. I'm going to miss the bathtub of my old house. My mind at this point is anywhere else but here. Her words make me fantasize for a short minute of how she would be inside a bathtub. Oh, this is not safe for... This would be where the filter comes in, right? Okay, enough. How are we going to clean ourselves? I guess with a sponge or something. Eris smirks once again. I would like a sponge bath. Awkward pause. She's moving her eyebrows up and down in a constant motion. Is she trying to tell me something? She pouts. I didn't get the message she was trying to send me. I should be going. As soon as I can stand up, that is. Please don't take advantage of me. I should be doing the same. I'm not supposed to be in the gentlemen's cabins. Why, why are you here anyway? It's not because you're desperate, right? You're not very clever, are you? He is as dense as a fortress wall. Did I say something wrong? Let's just say that you're losing a big piece of cake. What cake? Uh-oh. 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 There goes her ego. My brain at this point has ceased its basic functions once again. That's not good, considering it has been happening a lot recently. Oh, I thought she was going to smack me. Eris facepalms as she stands up from the couch and walks away. Nice talking. Brain status. Resuming normal operations. Initiating protocol. I fucked up. Status report. Protocol could not be initiated. Brain status. 50% of smarts. Brain fully restarted. More like brain fully retarded. Oh, bollock! She was hitting on me! I stand up from the couch, making my back crack in the process. Time to clean my only pair of clothes. Max, I gotta get inside. It seems that Max is not inside. Open the door. Cabin looks empty. Let's see. My luggage has one extra shirt, 2 suspenders for my pants. I didn't think that one through. I guess I'll clean my underwear, socks, and extra shirt. The sinks of the toilet wasn't that big now that I remember. All right. If I clean the bucket that Max was using yesterday, that could work. I guess we haven't been through this one before. Anon, you are a genius. I don't have soap. That should be enough. I had to wash my clothes with nothing but water and bits of bile from Max. Come in. Max enters the room. She looks tired. She looked like she saw something she wasn't supposed to see. Busy day? She doesn't answer me. Instead, she drops dead on her bunk. I'm exhausted. Really? What have you been doing? Well, it's your fault. My fault? You told the first mate that I wanted a job. Crap, I completely forgot about asking Neela for a job suitable for Max. Yeah, I totally did. Totally did indeed. I've been doing inventory stuff all day because of some idiot who didn't board in time. Inventory? I'm pretty sure this guy was a navigation officer. I'm pretty sure we went through this. Apparently, he was in charge of doing inventory for mail cargo. Remember that this ship's priority is the mail. We are just a secondary task for the crew. That explains a lot, actually. Max turns on her side, looking at me while lying on the bed. How so? All the charts I worked on looked more like the work of an amateur, or someone really outdated. If the guy's priority was to do the inventory of the ship, I guess that would explain a lot. Now, whatever he was supposed to do, he did a terrible job of doing the basic inventory of the ship. There were a lot more items from previous trips registered. The more I hear about this guy, the more I hate him. By the way, are you doing some laundry? Yeah, I only brought what you could see in terms of clothes. So will you be doing this every day? Pretty much, if I don't want to smell like a fermented sea lion. Max smirks with my comment. That's a pretty specific smell. I'm pretty sure I saw some soap in the cargo area. I could bring you some. So are you going to steal the soap? It can't be described as stealing, since the soap is not even registered in the ship's inventory, thanks to some dude. Fair enough. But in exchange, could you do my laundry? I'll give you my desserts as payment, too. It's a deal, then. I extend my fist towards Max, and she does the same. Are you going to lay on the bed for the rest of the evening? Yeah, I'm mentally exhausted. Physically, too. I'll go help the first mate then. See you later. Max waves her hand as I leave the cabin. Oh, they're not skipping. Really. The moment I enter the wheelhouse, Neela grabs my shoulders and pushes me to the steering wheel. I didn't even notice when she sat down on the fixed chair. What? Okay then. Sorry, my ankles are killing me. For how long am I going to steer the wheel? Just a few minutes. Let me rest. All looks clear. Not that I could see much with the whole ship in front of me. I swear, whoever designed ship has to have the longest neck ever because most of the ship is blocking my view. How'd you manage to do this before? Before? Oh, you mean before this trip? I used to lock the steering wheel in place. There's a small lock under the wheel, but I don't feel comfortable using it. Sometimes the waves push the ship to the side. Huh, that's convenient. I continue piloting the ship for a few minutes. It's a good thing the waves are not as big as yesterday, when they made us jump multiple times. By the way, Anon. Your cabin mate is working here too now. Oh yeah, she already told me. She. Brain entering bullshit mode. Protocol failed. Initiating evasive action. Chance of success, 20%. Yeah, you didn't know? I can see some sort of discomfort on Neela's face. Why is she staying at a gentleman's cabins? That could be a problem for the rest of the passengers. Or for her. Evasive action summary, task failed. Well, she didn't say she felt uncomfortable with me around or anything, although we have to knock on the door before we enter the cabin. It's too late to accommodate on a different cabin anyway. All of them are already occupied. Evasive action summary 2, task failed successfully. Resuming normal operations. To be honest, we have a good relationship, I think. We even made a deal for doing laundry together. Neela's eyes open as wide as a tennis ball once again. It's the second time today I see her doing the same. Laundry? Are you taking requests by any chance? He's got a stash. My patrician mindset sees a business opportunity. Somehow, my father's fake mustache appeared in front of my eyes with the idea. Perhaps. The dragoness shows me the most beautiful puppy eyes I've seen in my life. Would you mind doing my laundry? Be strong, Anon. You can't fall for those puppy eyes. Remember how your father used to do business. What do you offer in return? What does she offer? Oh boy. Her puppy eyes facade disappears as soon as the negotiations started. Extra rations? Chef already does that for me by giving me different food. Extra payment once we reach the continent? You haven't even mentioned how much you're going to pay me yet. Neela pouts. Watching my father for years has prepared me for this exact scenario. Pute, you know how to negotiate, don't you? I do. What about a kiss? Oh no, we're not doing your route, buddy. No. Anon, don't fall for her tricks. Just one? That seems to be an unfair payment. Excuse me? Do you consider it a fair payment if I do your laundry multiple times? Neela pouts again, crossing her arms. I could blackmail you instead, Mr. John. For real, what does the A stand for? Neela smirks as she regains the control of the situation. Damn, she is good with negotiations. Fine, one kiss. Sorry, can't do. The offer already expired. But, as I thought, I'm not made for business. Still new stuff. It's almost dinner time. Good shift today. Indeed, gonna go eat my dinner portion. I think I'll do the same in my cabin. I feel extra tired today. The captain enters the wheelhouse. Unlike during the morning, his face switched to his classical smirking face. I guess he only has two moods. Afternoon. We both nod our heads as the captain enters. Nothing to report. Good, you can go rest. We leave the wheelhouse, stretching our backs in the process. Okay, we are not chilling with Victoria, sorry. Wash clothes early. He became cultured. Oh wait, she probably has the most not safe for work CGs out of the four, probably. The 3 weeks on the Costa Concordia Eris is real. Oh no, Hermano. Missed your chance to slay the dragon. Throw me the dragons and I'll come back as Dovahkiin. And yeah, you did. This is also a dialogue you saw before the update. Okay. This is how she tricks him to doing her laundry for free. Probably because it's done in a different Rimpy version and therefore it doesn't count as seen. Alrighty. But I swear I could just eat... Well, no, I had to turn on the... Yeah, when we did devlog all those times, I did have to turn on skip dialogue. Better wash my clothes, now that I have time. I know that Max should be eating breakfast, but better make sure before going in. 1 second! Close call. I legit thought she was eating breakfast. I enter the cabin once Max unlocks the door. After Max unlocks the door, she goes immediately back to her bunk. She is totally immersed in her book. I guess all the dragons read books in here, huh? How long until you finish the book? Ahem. I heard you the first time. I don't know, a few days maybe? It gets incredibly boring around here. Tell me about it. Well, time to stop procrastinating. I grabbed the bucket next to the bunk so I could go fill it with water. Now that I'm back, one small piece of soap, and we are set. You could ask someone if you can borrow their clothes. Right, you could ask someone if you could borrow... Oh, I get it, because he's only got so many clothes. Yeah, they're all gonna have tails in the asses, or holes in the asses, and the only human here is probably like XXXL. There are only 2 humans on board. Ask the other human then. Max carefully turns a page in her book as she keeps talking to me. I'm sure there's many, and I mean many size differences between us. Aren't you all humans the same? That freaking expression right there is just hilarious. I'm going to ignore that comment. Did I say something wrong? Just forget about it. I grabbed my dirty shirt from yesterday along with my underwear. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Squeeze. Repeat. You're becoming a natural with that. You think so? Max closes her book as she watches me wash my clothes. I have to admit that it's weird to see a man washing his clothes. Back at home, it was considered a woman-only chore. Max smirks as she continues watching me. Quite a show, ain't it? Could you do mine now that you're at it? Sure. Them lips, yeah. I would live in a world of anthro dragons and become the godfather of them all and raise their babies, okay. Max stands from her bunk, reaching her luggage. At the same time, I hang my clothes on a hook next to the window. Here you go. Toss everything in the bucket. I begin the repetitive process of scrub and squeeze once again. No modesty at all, huh? We're sharing the same cabin. Besides, they're just clothes. Not like one of those weirdos from the East that get aroused by seeing a woman's underwear. Do they? That's a new level of weird. Scrub, scrub, squeeze. All done. That was surprisingly fast. I stand up once again, hang Max's clothes to the hooks next to my clothes, and backstretch. You earned your payment for the laundry, so take this. Max reaches for her luggage once again. Would this be enough? She hands me a small plank-looking object covered with brown paper. Is this what I think it is? Where'd you get this? Found it while doing inventory. It wasn't listed, so I took it. Even if it counts as payment. Our deal was desserts only. This could technically be a dessert, but it wasn't part of the deal. Max smiles to my reply, and I give her item back. Want to share it then? Are you sure? We are sharing the cabin. Those were your words, not mine. It's only fair we share this, then. Oh no. Oh no, is this part of the Max stuff? Oh no. Anon is also a time traveler. He knows about the Japanese used underwear vending machines. He had to board the ship so Socrates wouldn't chase him. I didn't want the Max route. Max removes the paper covering, revealing a bar of chocolate. It may be old, since it appears to have some fat bloom. Yeah, want to know something funny? I like when chocolate looks this way. A white layer of fat or sugar. It reminds me of a chocolate that my grandmother used to send for my birthday. It's not a Max route, by the way. It's part of the main story. This just gives an extra point. Okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind when we do the Max route. Max splits the bar of chocolate in two, handing me one half. When is your birthday? In 2 weeks. Oh no. She mentioned this nowhere else, and it never comes up. I will remember it. Oh, you don't have to. I'll be here... Wait, we'll still be here in 2 weeks, so yeah, I will. I bite the chocolate and... I've had better, but not bad at all. Max follows my example and bites her half as well. Tastes just like one my grandma used to give me. Do you like sweet chocolate? I'm more used to dark chocolate. Sweet or milk chocolate are my favorites. We sit together on Max's bunk as we continue eating the chocolate. You said your grandma used to send you chocolate for your birthday, did she? Oh, not at all. She is alive and well. It's just that at her age, she can no longer walk like she used to, so a simple trip to the mail services is like a full hike for her. I see. I never met my grandma or any other family members besides my father. Bad relationships? I honestly don't know. Every time I asked my old man why I didn't have a mother, he would just avoid the question. Maybe there's a reason behind it. Probably, but then again, my father wanted to send me to a war in a country I can't even name. I see. I'm glad you didn't go. Same. Max bites the chocolate once again. Her eyes look as bright as the first light in the morning. You really like chocolate, don't you? She doesn't answer me with words. Instead, she replies with a nod as she continues savoring the sweet, milky flavor in her mouth. Oh, wait, I saw the name. The what? Is that Anon? Oh, yeah. As Beatbox Thanos said, either way, destiny still arrives. Pork is fated to the Max route. No. I leave what's left of my share on top of my bunk as I stand up. What's wrong? Oh, nothing really. I'm saving it for later. Well, I'm gonna eat it on you. Oh, yeah. You better hide it then. I don't know if I'll be able to resist the urge of another bite. You can have it if you want. Don't worry, I was just joking. Anyway, we have to work now. I don't like covering my clothes with dust. Did I tell you that I found that piece of bread that was practically a brick? I wonder who left it there, or when it was left there. Sounds harsh. I leave the cabin without Max, realizing I already left. I found... Hey! Waves are kind of rough today. I enter the wheelhouse expecting a hard day. Context. Want me to take charge for now. I forget which one this does. No, don't overwrite twice. Take a break, I guess. I think I'm going to take a break for now. Sure thing, if you're okay with it, that is. Hila just waves her hand, signaling me to leave as she smirks. Just leave already. Aye aye, if you need me, I'll be at the main deck. I leave the wheelhouse with a bitter aftertaste, knowing how tired she is. She crashes the ship, and we die. Man, I was never into smoking, but I sure need a smoke right now. I sit on one of the benches, resting the back of my head against a wall. I can't get too relaxed. This is just a short break, after all. Not more Victoria, no! No! I get everyone but Eris. Like, for someone who's, like, super duper desperate, where is she? She is nowhere. Take a break. Do pardon my firsty psycho mode. This is what happened when Anon went to the military. Want the guide? Maybe. I think I might manage. Young man! The voice of the mature lady resonates within my ears as she approaches. I see that you are relaxing out here. Isn't the sea breeze something to be caught on? Actually, I just got here. I see. Victoria sits on the bench next to me. I wanted to talk to you about something. Talk with me? Indeed. Have you thought on what you want to do once we reach the continent? I've been trying to think about it, but so far I got nothing. Victoria looks down to her knees as I answer her. I see. Well, I have a proposition for you. Somehow I'm getting the vibes of a good idea about to happen here. My memory betrays me at my age. I can't remember if I already told you that my deceased husband wanted to start a store of some sort at the Land of Opportunities. I've been thinking about it lately, and since I've been watching you be so diligent, washing your clothes every day, I thought... I mean, it's not like I had any other choice, to be honest. Maybe opening a tailor shop might be a good idea. A tailor shop? Sorry, ma'am, but I'm not a designer, and nonetheless, a tailor. My idea was to open a store and to offer services for washing clothes. Do you know how hard it is to properly clean a dress like mine? I can imagine. A dress as long as hers must be a pain to wash, not to mention drying it. So you want me to be the laundry man? But where do we get a tailor? Victoria crosses her arms the moment I ask her about the tailor. Young man, do I look invisible to you? Oh, sorry, ma'am. I didn't know you were skilled in the arts of designing clothes. The dress I have been using for the past several days was made by me. I'm not going to lie. I honestly thought you commissioned it to a renowned designer. Your dress looks by no means cheap at all. You flatter me, young man. Anyways, I think it's a good idea. I'm not an expert in the area, but if you instruct me during the process, I'll give it a shot. I'm glad you're so committed with the idea of working. I thought younger generations weren't fond of the idea of having a job. It's not like I have a choice. I have to adapt to survive. Well, it was a good chat. Speaking of jobs, I better get back to mine now. See you later, ma'am. Victoria stays on the bench as I stand up to go back to the wheelhouse. I'll DM you the guide then. Hey, Anon, smoke weed every day. Second time with Vicky on the screen trying to lock you in. She might be more desperate than Eris. She's desperate at making me a gold digger, I guess. Anon rizzing up everyone except the character you want. On, where's guide? Oh, it's a PDF. Is this like every route? The official guide. Oh my god. That's literally the official guide. Oh my god. Now zoom. There we go. Approach her. Yeah. Go to the saloon alone and get a snack from Mac. That's what we did. Go rest. That's what we just did. Chill at the commons area. Okay. Zip zoom. Oh, I can't zip zoom. Never mind. The first thing I see once I come back to the wheelhouse is Neela is about to fall asleep while it's standing up. Neela? Neela! I heard you the first time. Neela leaves the wheel. She looks totally worn out. Without hesitation, I take the wheel as Neela sits on the chair next to us. Are you okay? I need to close my eyes for a while. You are in charge. She falls asleep before she finishes what she was going to say. I feel like an idiot now. I should have noticed how tired she was. I could have just said that I didn't need a break and just pretended I wasn't tired. Although, that's exactly what she did. An idea crosses my mind as I see the engine order telegraph. I guess it won't hurt anyone. And I set the ship engine to slow, so I can give her a little more time to rest while the ship is still moving. A quick peek at the charts, around 30 minutes until we have to turn to open waters, considering I slowed the ship down. It should be around an hour or so. An hour later, I decide that it's time to increase the ship's speed. And another crank. Back to full speed. The sound of the telegraph plus the engines wake up the sleepy dragoness next to me. She stretches her back as she lazily opens her eyes. For how long did I sleep? Around an hour? My brain is still waking up, but shouldn't we be in open waters by now? I slowed the ship down. What did you do that for? I can't say I felt pity for her. You look tired, and we're not in a rush. Also, could you tell me how many degrees I have to turn? We should be at the curve point by now. Neela looks at the charts, following the route I drew with her finger. 45 degrees to the west. And I'm trusting you a lot by allowing you to pilot the ship. But in the future, you have to let me know in advance if you're going to do changes to our plans, okay? Aye, aye, but there was no change. I just slowed down the ship. Still, thanks. I nod as I turn the wheel 3 times. It's almost lunchtime. Want to take over the wheel so I can get us some food? The dragoness stands up from the chair, stretching her arms and back. A loud popping noise can be heard coming from her spine. Ouch. So she's already hag-maxing. Sure, go ahead. Could you ask Uncle Chef for a strong coffee after lunch? I give her a thumbs up as I leave the wheelhouse. Alright, zip zoom. Zip zoom. Smoking. Oh, wait, we have Eris. No, go back. Another day, another penny. At this point of the journey, I'm enjoying the routine. I don't care how much Neela will pay me when we reach the continent. For once in my life, I feel like I have a purpose. And as usual, there is no place for me to sit with my plate of food. At least the ship's not passing through rough waves or anything, so I can eat while standing again. Is that the slayer of hearts in the flesh? A familiar mocking voice resonates through the crowd. Either that or my mind's filtering every other sound so I could hear her loud and clear. But if it isn't the red jewel in the scales. Eris walks towards me. She has an empty plate in her hands. Busy day today? In a way, not that I can't manage it. Eris sticks her tongue out with a mocking expression. You know you can manage it. A handsome Adonis like you looks capable of doing anything. I lost count how many times she has called me so far. Or names she called me. By the way, I have something to ask you. Can I finally take your route? Sure. Do you have any books I could borrow? I'm getting incredibly bored after dinner since I have nothing to do after work, and I didn't bring anything for my entertainment. Eris looks into my eyes with her usual mocking expression. I do, actually, but what do I get in return? My gratitude? That won't do, darling. What do you want, then? I want many things, but you don't seem to notice any of them. I could give you a bottle of wine. Eris pouts as I offer her a bottle of wine, the same one that Neela will give me at the end of the week for doing her laundry. I'll just let you borrow a book. Hold on. Let me get the zoom. No zoom. I cannot zoom. There's no zoom, so I'm just gonna have to use my phone. I'm going to lose my shit with this idiot. Great, I knew I could count on you. Eris leaves the saloon with a disappointed face. I wonder what she was thinking. Without making a sound, probably because of all the other passengers, the chef places his hand on my shoulder. Skip! Alright, walk around the ship, chill in peace at the cargo area. So, I consult the guide. Where's the guide? Did I delete the guide? Oh, the guide's on my browser. Chill at the commons area. That's not this. So I guess it's whatever I want. Eris has a visible pout face. Are we gonna max our chances with the perfect dragon waifu? I'm so desperate to hoping our scientists would actually let the anthro-dinosaurians and other species free into our land. I think that's called Area 51. If it's not in the guide, it's not relevant to the point system. Okay. I guess we'll walk around the ship. Oh god, that guy. Oh lord. I think that was we both need the rest. I don't remember chill at the commons area. We both need to rest. I think we need to cool down a bit. I'm sorry, I think we both need a rest for now. Neela doesn't immediately answer. Instead, she nods after a few seconds. I'll leave the wheelhouse to get some fresh air. The churn of the static wheel paddles below doesn't do much to calm the tempest in my brain. As I lean heavily against the railing, I accept the pain of the cold metal as it digs into my palms. Perhaps it will help me center myself and wake me from this daze. I can still hear Neela's harsh, anxious voice asking me to be right next to her, but I was immobile, just stood there like some pitiful idiot, immobilized and worthless. What kind of partner am I if I can't even respond when she needs me? I squeeze my eyes shut, but it doesn't help. All I see is the look in her eyes, a mix of confusion and something I can only hope wasn't disappointment. This is where the AI kicks in, huh? My chest tightens at the thought. Will she forgive me for being this weak, for failing her when it mattered most? The paddles churn on, steady and relentless, as if mocking the chaos inside me. I don't even deserve to be here if I can't do better for her. The frothy ripples that break away when the waves smash against the hull appear to go on forever into the distance. The water seems to be reflecting the chaos in my chest, feeling alive and restless. The constant rhythm of the paddle's static, yet cutting through the water, draws my attention and serves as a stabilizing force for my strained thoughts. As the sunshine fades, the spray they create shimmers like 1,000 little diamonds before disappearing. I strive to break out from the cycle by clinging to those small things. I see a little chip on the edge of one of the paddles. I focus on it as though it were the most important thing in the world, even though it's hardly apparent. It's just how I feel right now, a splinter of wood gone, useless and unimportant. I tap my fingers on the railing, but the nervous energy doesn't go anywhere, as if to remind me of how I froze, how I failed. The chipped paddle continues to turn to do its function without complaining. Something broken doesn't always have to be useless. However, what about me? Despite my self-pity, the boat of the paddles doesn't care. While I'm out here crumbling, I simply keep going. Solid and dependable, even when I feel like I'm stranded. The waves' harsh slap on the hulls serves as a constant reminder that life goes on. However, that doesn't make it any simpler to get rid of the picture of Neela's face, or the way her tail twitched in exasperation when I eventually woke up. After that, would she ever want to look at me again? Like a shadow creeping into the recesses of my consciousness, the notion intrudes without warning. What's the point? Conscription and war are waiting for me if I return, and I have nowhere to go. And what will I have on the continent if I make it there? Nothing. Just a blank beginning with no goal or direction. All of it puts pressure on my chest, forcing breath from my lungs. For a brief, terrible moment, I wonder if it would be simpler to let the water carry me away as it churns below. Simply lean forward and allow the waves to engulf me. Allow the ship to continue without my weight. Before I can realize what I'm thinking, my body moves, and I find myself leaning over the railing with a chilly salt spray against my face. Oh no, he's gonna pull an oon. Oh boy. You can't undo it. Then all of a sudden, I feel a sharp, almost painful tug at my gut that almost knocks me back. There she is! We did it! Do not mention the ozone. This is where the translation fucked up. I stumble and grab the railing for support, and when I look around, she's there, Eris. Her sharp eyes meet me with a look that combines bewilderment, rage, and something gentler that I don't deserve. What on earth were you doing? Were you playing that dumb snake game again, Un? Were you going to emulate that shit? Her voice is sharp enough to pierce the haze in my mind as she demands. I cannot respond. I was going to toss it all away when the revelation struck me like a slap. Only a moment before, I had almost decided to let go of everything. I open my mouth, but nothing comes out. With my heart thumping in my chest, as if to tell me that it's still there and I'm still here, all I could do is look at her. Eris flicks her tail in annoyance and crosses her arms. She continues in a quieter but no less strong voice. That's not a nice way to go, you know. I've been there before. I had the impression that everything was falling apart and that staying was pointless. Look at me, though. Her scales catch the light and shine like embers, creating a blazing contrast to the dark water behind her, as she makes a motion to herself. I'm standing and kicking right here. You are, too. I wasn't prepared for how hard the words hit. I can't take my eyes off of her. Light from the fading sun dancing across her crimson scales, bright and alive like a flame that won't go out. I can't deny the power and defiance she possesses. Something inside of me that had seemed buried and shattered is stirred by it. Perhaps I have nothing to return to. I might have to start from scratch. However, I'm aware that I'm still standing for the time being while I gaze at her. I wasn't really thinking. The humiliation clings to me like a cord, preventing me from seeing her in the eyes for long. I simply have no idea what I was doing. Eris tilts her head, her face softening as though she's revealing the filth behind my words by removing their layers. I get it, she says plainly. More than you may imagine. Her voice surprises me since it's honest without being condescending or judgmental. She looks at me, then back at the paddles that are continually spinning below us. You know, I've been coming out here every day since the start of this trip, here, by the paddles, till nearly dusk, just pondering, getting my mind straight. Her tail flicks languidly behind her as she pauses. I'm happy I did today as well. I wouldn't have seen you otherwise. My chest starts to relax a little as I gaze at her, taken aback by what she said. I'm glad that you did. With her crimson scales fire glimmering brightly in the dusk light, Eris gives a little smirk. She softens her tone once again and adds, I'll be here later too, if you simply want to stand and watch the waves, or if you need to talk, whatever's happening, my mouth is shut. Her ruby eyes shines with the sincerity that seems like a lifeline as she draws an imaginary line across her mouth for emphasis. I nod, a little smile flickering at the corners of my mouth. Thank you, really. I should return to the wheelhouse, but I'll give it some thought. Eris smirks playfully as she leans over the railing. She drops into a soft, even sensual tone as she continues. You do that. Just keep in mind. She smiles mischievously as she underlines the words. I'll be here every day if you decide to chat. I'll keep that in mind. I say as I throw myself overboard. I say over my shoulder, her presence still lingering in my thoughts as I head back towards the wheelhouse. The sounds of the waves follows me, but this time it feels just a little less heavy. Dancing towards cardiac arrest. Do not own yourself. The ship's subdued eeriness disturbs me as I return to the wheelhouse. The gentle lapping of the waves against the hull take the place of the paddle's typical repetitive churn. As the ship meanders languidly again, the engines have been turned off, leaving the paddles still and creating long, jagged shadows on the sea. Without that continuous buzz, everything seems oddly quiet, as if the planet is holding its breath. I stop as I get to the wheelhouse's exterior, my fingers lingering over the door handle. I inhale deeply while attempting to regain my composure as the door suddenly opens. It's new stuff. Startled, I take a step back and see Neela standing there. She stops in the middle of her stride, obviously not anticipating my presence either. As recognition sets in, her blue eyes soften and expand a little. She brushes a stray hair out of her face and murmurs, "Oh." As though she had already gotten over the surprise, her tail flicks idly behind her. Since the engines are off and we're not going anywhere right now, I was just going to go get coffee. As if she's still trying to piece me together after what occurred before, she looks at me and speaks in a casual but curious tone. Would you like to come along with me? What does the guide say? Go to the paddles of the ship. Thought be gone. I say thought be gone as we go to the thought of the group, man. Eris's offer is like a silent pull that I can't help but feel in the back of my mind. The image of her standing there, her voice calm and comforting, her red scales gleaming in the sun, keeps coming back. Perhaps I should speak with someone who has experienced the same type of storm as myself. Someone who will not see me as having already failed. I think I'm going to take a bit more time to cool down. I just need a moment because I'm not really myself right now. Neela glances at me with a kind, perceptive face. Without hesitation, she nods. That's all right. Take as much time as you need. Please don't worry about anything. As she approaches the door, her tail wiggles softly behind her. I'll be inside if you need to if you change your mind or simply need some company. Thanks. She smiles slightly at me and then walks out into the saloon, the door behind her groaning faintly. I stand there looking at the door for a minute. I turn on my heel and return to the railing beside the paddle without thinking again. Eris is very likely still there. Although I find the idea of speaking with her intimidating, I can't help but believe that perhaps this is just what I need. Earlier, she grasped at something I couldn't even articulate. And I need someone who can spot problems without bothering me too much right now. Alright, let me adjust my seating arrangement here. I'll raise the mic a bit. Alright. With the engine stopped and the ship remained strangely still, I make my way back to the paddles. The sound of the waves lapping rhythmically against the hull fills the quiet, and it feels heavier now for some reason. Eris is still resting comfortably against the railing as I turn the corner, her red scales gleaming in the lights like embers against the fading sky. Her ruby eyes expand slightly in astonishment, as she almost instantly recognizes me. Well, I'll be damned. I didn't think you would return so soon. She looks at me, obviously interested, and flicks her tail behind her. I take a step forward, her. Resting on the railing next to her, my eyes flickering momentarily with the still paddles. With a firm but softer voice than I would like, I say, I'm going to take you up on your offer. I truly need to speak with someone. You also promised to listen. Is this the first time we see her happy? Eris gives a single sharp clap of her palms together, piercing the silence. Her broad, vibrant smile stands in sharp contrast to the burden I've been bearing. Now that's what I like to hear. Lay it on me, angel face. I'll listen to every word. She surprises me with her monk ear. I giggle quietly in spite of myself. Or moniker, sorry. Sometimes what are words? I'm gonna take a drink. Angel face? You know that. I know that you have a real vivid imagination when it comes to names. Her smile becomes cheeky as she gives me a wink. Oh, you're not even aware of the whole extent of it. I might even start a collection if you stay. I feel like I can breathe again for the first time in what seems like hours as her playful tone relaxes the tightness in my chest. I can tell she's paying attention when she leans back against the railing and fixes her gaze on mine. I take a deep breath and start explaining everything to Eris. I tell her about the wheelhouse, how I froze up when Neela was calling for me, how I couldn't move, couldn't even breathe, and how her voice sounded so far away even though she was right next to me. The next day... Anon, you took all day. I don't think I can listen to you anymore. I'm dozing off. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. Thank you, translation. How far are we in? We're an hour and a half. We'll see where the time goes. So that happened. My voice feels heavier than I expected, the weight of it all still settling over me after letting it out. Eris is silent for a while, her eyes strain to the vast ocean. For a little while, her tail flicks idly, and I wonder if she's trying to think of anything to say, or if she's trying to avoid upsetting me. Her countenance is serious, but not pitying, as she turns back to face me. Well, you were definitely not prepared for that. Her directness surprises me, but her tone is devoid of sarcasm and hatred. It's simply truthful. You're not wrong. Eris shrugs a little, sly smile curving her lips. You know, it's not a bad thing to admit something. Your limitations were put to the test today, as they are for everyone. It simply indicates that you need to figure things out, not that you're weak or anything, and perhaps a bit more experience managing everything. Her remarks don't seem like criticism, which is odd. They seem to give you a permission to not have everything worked out quite yet, if anything. Eris looks at me for a minute, her red eyes piercing but not cruel. So what's the plan now? Will you admit to the first mate that you don't feel capable of handling any responsibility, or will you continue to work, attempt to solve the problem, and improve your own situation? I pause and lean forward into the railing as her question hits me hard. Once more, I gaze at the unmoving paddles, seeing the subtle water ripples that contrast with their stillness. I don't know, but I believe I must confront it. To quit just running. Something strikes me like a kick to the stomach, causing my sentences to trail off in the middle. Away. Those two words weigh heavily on me, and I can't help but freeze, my mind racing. I tighten my grasp on the railing. Fleeing. Isn't it just what I did back in Draconia? I didn't confront my issues or maintain my stance. I left everything behind, including the expectations, the conflict, and everything else I was too scared to face, and now I'm repeating the entire process. Eris tilts her head, obviously perplexed by my abrupt silence. With a cautious yet inquisitive tone, she says, "What's going on in that head of yours?" I don't immediately respond to her. I'm too busy trying to figure out what just happened to me. I mistakenly believed that I was fleeing to freedom and a new beginning back in Draconia. I was running, escaping my responsibilities, my mistakes, and everything that seemed too much for me to bear. I nearly ran again, but now I'm aboard the ship, trying to persuade myself that I can manage the duty. At last, I return my attention to Eris, who is calmly waiting despite her tail flicking in obvious eagerness. Despite my voice betraying me, I lie and say, "It's nothing. I'm discovering something about myself." Eris doesn't push, but she does narrow her eyes a little, obviously not believing my dismissal. Realizations are good. They are essential, even though they don't always feel wonderful. Oh wait, is Eris talking? Damn it. I'm taking a drink. Realizations are good. They are essential, even though they don't always feel wonderful. What will it be, then? Are you done running, or is there still more to go? I don't know how to respond to her yet, and her comments hit me more than I anticipated. I merely nod, more to myself than to her, instead. I guess I'll find out. Eris moves a bit closer and smirks, her tail swishing languidly behind her. You know, a cute human like you shouldn't put on such a worried face. In fact, you should probably just put on a face, Anon. It destroys your charm. My charm? I repeat, scowling a little as I attempt to determine if she's being sarcastic or joking. She makes a smooth, deep sound that is equal parts delighted and wicked when she laughs. That's right, you got this angelic little face, all soft and thoughtful. She teases, tilting her head slightly as her crimson eyes glint with mischief. But when you're all worried like that, it's like watching a sunrise behind storm clouds. Just doesn't hit the same. I think you're giving me way too much credit. I don't believe I've ever been called cute, much less whatever this is. Eris chuckles, a soft, innocuous sound that nonetheless agitates me even more. You are hopeless, but I like challenges. I look towards the paddles just as they lurch into action, and I hear a deep, low hum rumbling through the ship. Once still, the blades begin to cut through the water in a constant pace, creating ripples and foam. It's time for me to get back to work, since the engines must have started up again. With that same gleam of amusement in her eyes, Eris is watching me as I straighten up and turn to face her. Thanks, Eris. I really do mean it. For listening, for everything. That's what I needed. Leaning carelessly over the railing, I lose my balance and slip over. I needed it all anyways. Eris smiles as though she had endless time. Wonder Boy, don't mention it. And just so you know, I will be by these paddles every single day, so you know where to find me if you ever feel the need to unload all of that heavy baggage again. You're relentless, you know that? My best trait, I tell you. I take another look at the paddles, the repetitive churn of the water strangely comforting. I'll see you around, Eris. Count on it. The words ring in my ears as I head back towards the wheelhouse. Perhaps she's right, and it's not such a terrible thing to have someone to chat to. Oh no, Max. After dinner, I went straight to the cabin. I've been lying on the bench of the cabin since then. Although I haven't been just resting, I've been blankly staring at the roof. Many ideas come to my mind about what happened today. My mind is a total mayhem right now. Mate, you look like a beaver staring at a river, pondering if it should or shouldn't build a dam. I don't know exactly what I want to do with my life. What's the first thing that comes to your mind? I'm trying as hard as I can, but I don't have the slightest idea. Nothing. My life is a mess. Max lowers her book and sees me as she lies in her bed. Do whatever you think is best for you. It's not like you have many options now that you are in the same boat as me. Hey, that's a nice pun. The more I think about what happened today, the more I get worried of what to do with my life. I continue tapping the wood beneath me with my fingers. I guess there's nothing to do anyway. Did you figure it out? No, I guess I need more time. Max places her book under the bunk as she moves her pillow to sleep. Well, whatever you do, don't do it up too late, mate. Night-night. Night. I better follow her example. I'm just exhausting my mind at this point. Time to climb the bunk once more. With that, I close my eyes. Uh-oh. I can't sleep. I guess I'll go to the common area for now. But I climb down without making a fuss while Max sleeps. Okay, it's just the same. Fishing. Jacket. Max. Alright, what do we got here? What does the guide say? I have other things to do. Be gone, thought. Sorry, I have other things to do. Maybe later I'll pay you a visit. No worries. I finish eating my toast, followed by leaving the table. See you later. Max waves her hand while munching what's left of her scrambled egg toast. Standing on the deck of the ship, I gaze out across the vast emptiness of the Atlantic Ocean. The horizon stretches endlessly, merging the deep blue of the water with the light blue of the sky in a seamless transition that makes it hard to discern where one begins and the other ends. The gentle sway of the ship beneath my feet reminds me that I am just a tiny speck in this immense expanse of water, surrounded by nothing but the occasional seabird soaring effortlessly overhead. The stillness of the scene is almost eerie, broken almost by the rhythmic sound of waves lapping against the hull. I lean against the railing, wondering what it would be like to be a fish beneath all this mass of water. Oh boy, what do we got now? Work on the wood figure. I don't even think we've been working on it at all. Guide. Sit on one of the benches. Sit. I guess I'll chill for a while. So according to this, I think we're locked in. Well, let me look. First evaluation requirements 5 or more. Staying where I am. You are pretty. Yes, I want to, okay, so yeah, it's just that. Sorry if that's spoilers. Wait, there's final evaluation requirements 6 or more. So I guess this is all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 points to get. So there's like multiple endings, I guess, with the evaluations. Or am I just hallucinating? Begone thought. Goes to the biggest of them. Yeah, every time. One day this will end. Out of the corner of my eye, I see movement as I lower myself onto the bench. Eris is standing a few feet away, leaning carelessly on the railing, her red scales catching the sunlight like embers in the air. I turn my head to view her. Her ruby eyes brighten up with obvious mischief as soon as she sees me. Well, well, look who it is. My tiny sunrise has already returned. Sunrise? Eris shrugs while maintaining a constant smile. What, you constantly ruminate and then you appear as though a fresh day had become full of thoughtfulness. It suits you. She slowly leans near me. Don't tell me you didn't miss me. You came directly back here to see me again, didn't you? I roll my eyes, but the tiny smirk pulling at the corner of my mouth is too obvious to conceal. The base ending is the bad one. If you don't meet the requirements, it triggers the bad route. So I have to get the better requirement, not just the few points. So the base ending, so the MGTOW ending I like to dub. I roll my eyes, but the tiny smirk is pulling at the corner of my mouth is too obvious to conceal. Charming as usual, your imagination knows no bounds, does it? Her laugh is a bright, carefree sound. Hey, if the shoe fits, right? Admit it, you enjoy the intention. She teases, flicking her tail in my direction. I lay back against the bench and look at the paddles, whose motion is calming in the background, and I respond. Maybe, but I think the company is more enjoyable. Eris's smile softens a little as she gives me a sidelong glance. Well, aren't you sweet? Careful, angel face, or I might start thinking you're trying to flatter me. I give Eris a quick look and chuckle quietly while shaking my head. I raise an eyebrow and grin a little as I reply. You called me Angel Face again. What happened? Did you finally run out of nicknames? Eris says, oh no, blush, she's blushing. Eris's smile falters slightly as a tinge of color appears on her cheeks. Then she blinks. Well, what, me? Run out of nicknames? Don't flatter yourself, sunshine. I like that. I just like that one. I give her a cheeky look as I lean forward a little and put my arms on my knees. Did I read that right? Put my arms on my knees. Yeah, because he's sitting, isn't he? There it is again. Sunshine, you're really doubling down on nicknames today, huh? Eris's crimson eyes enlarge a bit, and I see her tail twitch just a little bit behind her. She crosses her arms and glares at me, muttering. Oh, shut up. Don't tempt me, or I'll start calling you something ridiculous just to prove a point. Ridiculous? I lean back and smile. I mean, sunshine, angel face, sounds like you got a soft spot for me or something. She looks away towards the paddles as if they had suddenly become the most intriguing thing in the world. Blushing more deeply and huffing, her voice becomes lower but still carries a hint of heated annoyance as she complains. I don't have a soft spot for you, you just give off a vibe, okay? You're all broody and thoughtful, like you're just trying to figure out the meaning of life or something. It's annoying, so I make fun of it. Sure, whatever helps you sleep at night. Her eyes narrow as she turns back to me, her flush refusing to go away. Oh, don't start with me. You're lucky that I'm nice enough to let this slide. But keep pushing and I'll come up with a nickname so embarrassing you'll regret it. No, keep pushing and I'll push you off like you wanted in the first place, Anon. I continue to smile as I raise my hands in fake surrender. Oh no! Oh no! This is a callback. I wonder where this pose came from. All right, I'll back off for now. But for the record, you're really bad at hiding when you're flustered. Flustered. There we go. She flicks her tail sharply against my cheek for that. Deserved. Yeah, you deserved it. Alright then, what's the plan for the rest of your day? Anything exciting? What are you staring at there, Anon? What's the true ending? Oh wait, I realize that I have Top Chat on because I'm retarded. Okay, that's why it didn't say, because Harem censored, I guess. But when Crescenario says it, because he's a mod, I get it now. I see. Harem is a bad word for Top Chat. With a sigh, she drapes her arms over the top of the rail and sits on the bench. Exciting, please, except for waiting for anything to happen while looking blankly at the water. There's nothing thrilling to do aboard the ship. My motivated plan for the day was that. Sounds captivating. A languid smile appears on her face as she shrugs. Well, I did have one other plan. I was most likely going to read my book again. The one, you know. I raise an eyebrow at her. How many times have you already read it? This would be the fourth. I shake my head in disbelief. Did she get... Oh wait, she's probably sitting with us. That's probably why she looks shorter. 4 times? Are you simply that bored, or is it truly that good? She puts a palm to her breast and lets out a fictitious cry of offense. I was gonna say flirtatious. Mixed signals. Excuse you, it's a masterpiece of literature. You wouldn't understand the artistry behind it. Also, what else am I supposed to do? It's not like the ship is brimming with entertainment options. I mean, you could try... You could pretend to go fishing. Fair enough. So, let me get this straight. With all the dramatization, it's really a tale of 2 lovers aboard a catastrophic ship. However, with a focus on, private areas. Eris gives me a sly smile, obviously amused by my response. Exactly, and wait till you've read it before you criticize it. Passion, peril, heartache, and a lot of steam are all elements of art. So wait, I know this is a movie, but it's like referencing Titanic before Titanic's happened. Alright, for that one, the literary world is undoubtedly losing out on a prize. She responds, leaning back and wearing a smug grin. You have no idea. I pause, trying to steer the conversation to something less likely to make my face heat up. Anyways, how long is this thing? You must already know it from cover to cover because you've read it 4 times. Eris taps her chin thoughtfully. It's not too long, you know. Perhaps a few 100 pages. Ideal for getting lost on a lengthy journey like this one. 200 pages of that, and you haven't grown tired of it yet. What am I supposed to say? It has romance, drama, and a hint of danger. The scenes are also, you know, vivid. I'm not sure if I should be impressed by your dedication or worried about what that says about you. Eris lets out a soft, unconcerned chuckle. Oh please, don't act like you're above it. You'll likely find it more enjoyable than you think. I'm not sure I'll take that bet, but hey, at least it's keeping you entertained. Exactly. She responds with a victorious smile. And who can tell? I might lend it to you sometime. You might learn a thing or two. Yeah, I'll pass, thanks. But you keep enjoying your artistry. Eris smiles, obviously happy with herself. Oh, I will, and if you ever change your mind, you know where to find me. You're not leaving already, are you? I asked, not quite prepared to conclude the amusing conversation just yet. Eris's ruby scales catch the sunshine as she spreads her arms over her head. Unfortunately, yeah, I need to go figure out how to wash my clothes. It's getting to the point where even I'm starting to notice, and that's saying something. Startled by the coincidence, I blink at her. Wait, really? That's funny because I actually found a way to do laundry. Eris freezes mid-stretch, her eyes narrowing in suspicion. Yeah, I've noticed everyone wears the same clothes every day, yet... It's funny, everyone dogs on Anon for only having, like, a change of clothes, but yet everyone's wearing the same thing all week round for 3 weeks. You found a way here on the ship. Are you pulling my tail? Nope, I got a bucket and some soap stashed away. It's not exactly luxury, but it works. Her expression displays real astonishment as her jaw lowers a little. You are kidding. Not at all. I was going to wash some of my own stuff later. Eris gives me a long look while she processes, and then she smiles broadly. Well, well, Lady Killer, aren't you just full of surprises? Eris leans closer. In that case, how about being a sweetheart and letting me borrow that bucket and soap of yours? Sure, why not? Eris smirks and gives a cheeky tail flick. Deal. I owe you something, and if you're lucky, maybe I'll even show you how efficient I can be at scrubbing. You'd learn a thing or two, you know. Of course, I'll fetch it for you later. Just don't break the bucket or anything, alright? Eris grins, standing up and giving me a mock salute. No promises, handsome, but seriously, thanks. You've saved me from having to awkwardly ask the crew or someone else. Don't mention it, just try not to turn the paddles into your makeshift dryer. She laughs as she walks away, her voice trailing off behind her. I'll go ready my clothes. See you in a bit. With Eris gone, I head to my cabin and grab the bucket and soap. Dark romance. It's because he's a skinny. He smells like human. I'm grinning at the entire way there at the prospect of her laundry dilemma and how seriously she appears to be taking it. Oh, damn. But when I reach for my door and push it open, I'm met with the unexpected feeling that makes me jump out of my skin. Fuck me in the arse, primordial dragon! Eris is standing there, as quiet as a shadow. Her typical smile is on her lips as she holds a little bundle of clothing in her arms. My response seemed to have delighted her too much. I don't believe the primordial dragon swings that way. I didn't mean to scare you. She says with a mock innocent tone, clearly anything but sorry. What the hell are you doing here? I was just coming to get the bucket. I know, that's why I'm here. I thought I'd save you the trouble of looking for me after. I give her a perplexed expression while pointing to the clothing she's holding. Okay, but why did you bring all that here? What's the plan, Eris? Her tail waggles a little as she smiles. Simple, I'm not about to let anyone else see that bucket. The second the other female passengers find out there's a way to do laundry, you can kiss your bucket goodbye. You think they would steal it? Oh, absolutely. Trust me, cutie patootie. If you share it with one person, you'll never see it again. It'll be passed around lost or borrowed indefinitely. And I need this bucket. I give her a long look of bewilderment before laughing and shaking my head. I'm not sure whether you're paranoid or intelligent. Maybe both. Now, are you going to grab the bucket, or do I need to help myself? Okay. Here, please don't lose it. I mean it. I wouldn't dream of it, but just in case, you might want to watch me. There's something else, you know that? With a victorious smile, she grabs the goods and says, "Of course I am. Thank you, Pudding. You have brightened my day." I find myself watching her do her laundry out of curiosity rather than returning to my own work. Eris places the bucket at her feet and settles down on one of the couches. Then she begins to arrange her garments with unexpected attention. As soon as Eris plops down on the couch in the lobby, her crimson eyes flicker upwards, catching me lingering in the doorway. She smirks, her tail curling playfully over the armrest of the couch. She leans back theatrically and crosses one knee over the other as she murmurs, Well, Croazone, I didn't think you were the type." I blink, taken aback. "A type for what?" She points at the pile of clothing she just placed next to her. "Standing there like that, watching me. If you're so interested in the art of laundry, you're welcome to pull up a seat. I don't mind an audience." A hint of mocking in her voice makes my face heat up a little, and I try to keep my calm by crossing my arms. "Interested in laundry? No. Interested in seeing how far this whole bucket plan of yours goes? Maybe." "Oh, don't act like you're just here for the bucket. If I didn't know better, I'd say you were fascinated by me." I roll my eyes, stepping closer, but refusing to take the bait. The word fascinated may be too strong. "Mm-hmm." She hums, but not bothering to hide her smirk as she begins organizing her clothes into neat piles. "Keep telling yourself that, Amore. Meanwhile, I'll just keep sitting here, being utterly irresistible." "You really don't hold back, do you?" "Why should I?" I recline in the adjacent couch and watch Eris with mild amusement as she busies herself folding and arranging her garments. Her eyes narrow slightly as she painstakingly smooths out a shirt, and her intense attention has a surprisingly charming quality. "You look pretty cute when you're focused like that." Her hands freeze mid-fold, and she glances up at me, blinking in surprise. For a second, I think I might have broken her. "Wait, what?" she asks, a rare touch of skepticism in her voice. I shrug, maintaining a casual tone, but being well aware of the seriousness of what I said. "I said you look cute. Why wouldn't I think you are?" Her fingers quiver, almost as if they're shaking. As soon as I say those words, she swiftly goes back to folding her garments. Even through the red scales, a little flush appears on her cheeks, suggesting that her normally assured demeanor has momentarily wavered. At first, she remains silent, her lips forming a narrow line as she concentrates a bit too much on the next article of clothing she is holding. Her tail curling around her side shows how anxious she is, even though I can tell she's attempting to hide it. After a long moment of stillness, I lift an eyebrow and give a little smirk. "What, no witty comeback? No teasing nickname?" Her gaze briefly lifts to me before quickly returning to the clothing she's folding. "I don't," she says, clearing her throat in an uncharacteristically quiet voice. "I don't think anyone finds me cute." "Really? You're charming, confident, and gorgeous. But no one's ever told you that?" Eris appears bashful for the first time since I've known her, and her flush deepens. It's a unique, surprising aspect of her that I find funny and, to be honest, charming. "You're such a dork, Romeo," she mutters at last, barely audible, before returning her whole focus to her attire. However, I can tell everything I need to know by the uneasy way her tail flicks, and the blush that remains on her cheeks. Eris rises up suddenly, a little more rigid than normal, and picks up the bucket she had placed down. She leaves the common area without saying anything, swishing her tail sharply behind her as she makes her way to the closest sink. I watch her leave, wondering if I did anything wrong. I was not prepared for the weight of the stillness she left behind. She comes back with her arms encircling the bucket, which is now full, with the water sloshing a little. She places it next to the couch and starts working right away. She gently dips each of her well-organized clothing into the water and then scrubs them with the soap I gave her. As she wrings out the cloth and places each clean piece aside in the same manner she had previously placed them, her hand moves with almost mechanical precision. The rhythm of her work is almost hypnotic, the steady swish of water and gentle scrubbing filling the space, but it's her silence that keeps gnawing at me. I finally lean forward a little and say, "Eris, did I say something wrong?" She doesn't answer, as like she hasn't even heard me. Her fingers are working carefully as her crimson eyes remain focused on the garment she's cleaning. Eris. Nevertheless, she remains silent. The little quiver of her tail, which soon stops, is the only indication that she even recognizes me. I groan and recline in the couch, attempting to think of what I could have done to cause her annoyance. Her quietness and subduedness are so unusual, I feel like there's more going on than she's revealing as I watch her work on. The blush from earlier is still slightly tinting her cheeks. I choose to leave her alone for the time being, though in hopes that she will speak out when she's ready. Eris keeps working, scouring the garments relentlessly while rinsing, wringing them out and dipping. Her motions are fluid yet aloof, as though the only thing keeping her grounded is the task's cadence. Her tail sometimes twitches uneasily behind her, revealing the calm veneer she's attempting to keep. The fact that her face is still red shows how much my comments have impacted her. However, she doesn't say anything, concentrating only on the work at hand. I sit there calmly, seeing her work and sensing the tension that had been quietly settled between us. Now the stillness is different, heavier, but in a way that makes it nearly hard to understand what's happening in her mind. After what feels like an eternity of washing, Eris stops in the middle of the task, her fingers briefly holding the cloth firmly before she puts it down. She turns to face me after taking a long breath and slowly exhaling. She appears unsure as her eyes dart towards me. Her cheeks are still flushed, but this time she doesn't cover it up. Rather, she appears nearly defenseless. "You really mean it?" Her voice is lower than normal as she asks in a lower whisper. Even though it's no more than a whisper, I can still detect the faintest trace of hesitancy. I lean forward on the couch and look steadily into her eyes. "Yeah, I meant it. You really are cute, Eris." She looks at me for a while, taking in what I've said. She no longer has the self-assured grin I'm used to seeing, instead displaying something a bit more genuine, perhaps even shy. She stares down at her clothing, her fingers carelessly stroking the fabric, and for a moment I believe she might say anything else. Her tail flicks awkwardly before wrapping up tight around her calf as her blush intensifies. "Okay, you made your point." I grin, enjoying the sight of her flustered. "I think you're cute, Eris. You've got that whole thing going for you." She essentially stops for a moment before yelling in frustration, raising her hands in the air. "I can't even with you right now." Her cheeks flushed. She snatches another garment and starts frantically cleaning it. You really think I'm cute?" She is obviously attempting to retake control of the situation as her voice reverberates across the room. However, the uneasy flickering of her tail and her unfading blush tells me all I need to know. I do think you're cute." Her voice remains elevated as she lets out a loud groan. "Oh, come on, why must you say that over and over again?" She stops once again, her hands trembling as little as she scrubs, but the smile pulling at her lips betrays her. "You're such a pain, you know that? All my life I've been told that I'm too big, too fat, too much, too everything. Ah!" There's a noticeable change in her tone, and even though she is still uncomfortable, it's warmer and more sincere than I've ever seen her to be. I feel like our relationship has altered as a result of this brief conversation. I can tell she's beginning to calm down even as she yells nervously. I watch her fumble with the washing while leaning forward a little and resting my chin on my hand. Her flaming crimson face is too alluring to resist pushing a bit harder. With a gentler yet warm voice, I add, "You know, Eris, your scales catch the light like they were meant to outshine the sun, and your eyes, I've never seen them with such depth. You really are beautiful." Her tail flicks abruptly and sharply, but she starts to scrape more slowly. Her hands shake over the clothing she's holding as her flush intensifies. Her agitated countenance changes to one that verges on panic, and I believe I can see the steam rising from her face. "You..." Her voice is now a high-pitched shout, obviously fighting for words. "You can't just say stuff like that out of nowhere. You're so stupid. Stupid humans." I'm leaning back and reveling in how worked up she's becoming, and I can't help but smile. But it's true, you're beautiful. Oh, there is no history on this one. Fuck. Next time you make a remaster, put the history in. Out of nowhere, she cuts me off with a sudden outburst, her voice crackling slightly as she yells, "Stupid humans that don't care about appearances." Her voice is so powerful that it reverberates throughout the room, and for a moment, the change in tone takes me by surprise. The lady's voice trembles, almost as if she's going to weep, and I sit up straight. Are we going to get that CG that's in the thumbnail? Sure, but if I make big words, they will get bugged. Oof. Oh boy. What's wrong? She doesn't look at me as she responds in a weak, irritated tone. Her hands completely freezing now, grasping the wet shirt hard. "Male dragons." Her voice is fragile and sour as she swallows hard. "They don't see any sort of attractiveness in me because of how big I am. I'm not delicate or graceful. To them, I'm just too much." As her words take hold, the room becomes heavier. Her ruby eyes, shimmering with anguish and fury, eventually gaze up at me. I can see behind her typical flamboyant, taunting facade for the first time. My chest tightens because of the rawness in which she is suppressing her emotions. I F up. "Eris, they're idiots, every single one of them. You're not too much, you're perfect the way you are." Her voice quivers as she scoffs feebly. "You're just saying that because you're a human and humans don't care about that stuff." "No, I'm saying it because it's the truth. I don't care what those other dragons think. You're gorgeous, Eris, and anybody who doesn't see that doesn't deserve you." She looks at me, stunned for the first time since I've known her, her eyes widening and her blush somehow getting deeper. After a few seconds, she mutters to herself, "Stupid human, I'm not pretty." Eris drops the blouse she was washing. Her shoulders start to quiver, and her hands shaking. She lets out a gentle, tremulous growls as her head drops, her red scales glinting in the little light. "My whole life, I've never had a mate, not even close, and friends, not many of those either." She uses the back of her hand to wipe her eyes while sniffling. "No one wanted to be around me. Not like that. I was always too big, too loud, too clumsy." Her voice cracks even more as she goes on. "I tried to tell myself it didn't matter, but it did. It always did, and the only reason I even boarded this stupid ship." After pausing to take a trembling breath, she looks up at me with teary eyes and speaks in an emotionally raw tone. "Was to run away from everything, leave it all behind and start over somewhere, anywhere where no one knew me." Her words struck my chest like a cannonball. I stop in position, unable to react as my breath catches in my throat. The air seems to have been torn out of my lungs. She did the same thing I did. Like a tsunami, the understanding sweeps over me, trying to pull me under. Like me in Draconia, Eris fled her home, her hardships, and her suffering. She stepped into the ship with the same fervent desire I did. To go away, to start anew, to leave behind an intolerable existence. I'm having trouble finding the perfect words, and my throat feels choked. Her revelation weighs like a stone in my chest, and all I can do is gaze at her. Eris wipes away her tears without looking at me. Her voice is now softer, and she trembles as she speaks. I thought maybe if I went somewhere new, things would be different. But I guess I didn't really think it through. I just didn't want to be there anymore. Each of her statements reverberates in my head, probing further into my own memories. At last, I managed to mumble in a shaky voice. Eris. She looks at me with a vulnerability and fragility I've never seen in her face. The revelations that we are far more akin than I ever imagined overwhelms me for a time, and all I can do is gaze back. How's this? You are pretty. I understand you. I think it should be, according to the guide. You are pretty. You are pretty. I really mean it. Eris rises up abruptly, her motion quick and somewhat shocking. Before I can speak, she snatches me into a tight hug, her powerful arms around me with such intensity that I almost faint. For a few minutes, the embrace itself and the intensity of the moment causes me to gasp for air as my face presses up awkwardly against her chest. With her breath warm on my ear and her voice shaking with unfiltered emotion, she says, "You're the first person I've ever told this to." Her body trembles a little against me as her hold gets tighter. I say nothing since I am at a loss for words. Rather, I give her a gentle touch in return, attempting to reassure her that I'm not sure whether it actually does. Then, as fast as she gave me a hug, she releases her hold, takes a step back, and reaches for the sack of freshly laundered garments she had painstakingly cleaned. Her attitude is inscrutable as she grabs everything without glancing at me. Eris turns and leaves the common area without saying another word, leaving me standing there frozen in shock. Only the warmth of her embrace and the subtle smell of soap remain when the sound of her footsteps disappear into the distance. The sound of the stair steps behind her fills me with a sense of emptiness, a hollow aching that permeates my chest and makes me feel as though everything is heavy. I can't quite make sense of it, but it feels like something important, something significant just happened. I look around the now quiet room, where the bucket of water is still there, and the only movement in the silence is the little ripples on its surface. A vivid reminder of how long it has been since I last ate is the rumbling in my stomach. I blew out my breath slowly while stroking my scalp. Probably best to go get something to eat. The emptiness inside me grows a bit heavier with every step, but I ignore it and concentrate on the idea of eating instead. Although it's not much, it's sufficient to keep me going for the time being. As we just leave the bucket out there, okay. Ugh. Okay, we are over 2 hours, and I think I might call it here. Hug achieved. We got the bag, bros. But no hug CG. Yeah, that's what sucks. We thought about it, but being such a brief moment, it would be a waste. Oh boy. Oof. Let me save. I'm just gonna save here. Why not? You gotta remember, it's the third one on page 1. Yeah, we're getting there. I think, how close are we? I don't count the days because we just blaze through them, but I'm assuming, I think we'll probably have the ending by next stream. And if not, it'd definitely be achieved in the third one then. And by that time, we'll just be knocking them out. Oof. Yeah, maybe I'll boot up another stream tonight. I'm thinking of more, what is it, coin game. You were on the first Saturday right now, dang. Okay, maybe it'll be four streams, who knows? Because I don't know. I mean, I can only take this in like splurts, you know, short sessions. I mean, with the voice issues and the tailbone issues. But yeah, I'm not gonna stop anytime soon. I might shoot for some time within the near future. Tuesday or Wednesday, I might throw on part 2 of this. More Eris, life is good. The Max versus Hag Maxing, voting to be interesting. I'm just gonna go down to what's there right now. I think Max was number 2. Eris' route has less repetitive content since her route doesn't touch Neela's route at some point, so it's a different context. Okay. So it's gonna be brand new stuff. More reading. But yeah, we'll get through it. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here, and I'll take a break for like a few minutes, and then we'll start up a coin game stream. Because I've been addicted to playing that game, and I'm not doing myself justice by letting myself get beaten on the leaderboards. So, for those that want to see that, that'll be in a few. Otherwise, keep an eye out for Tuesday or Wednesday. Now we played Dancing Towards Tomorrow. We already played all that. There's no more. There's no more unless there's mods for that game. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. I'll see you guys later.